Hello and welcome to the Law Podcast, brought to you by the University of Stirling Law Society. I am your host, Jedd France. Today I am joined by our Social Secretary, Claire Welsh, to discuss our upcoming Move for Mental Health fundraiser, which is being kicked off by our Mental Health Conference. I hope you enjoy. So, hello Claire, thank you very much for coming back on the show. How are you?
I'm good, thank you for having me. How are you?
I'm good, and it's an absolute pleasure to have you back on. Like I say, we obviously had you on in November for the mental wellbeing event, which we spoke about on the show, which was very successful. And again, we have you on to discuss another mental health event, which I think is very important and very interesting, and obviously a very important subject. But before we dive into that, I just want to check to see how your 2021 is going so far. Obviously, it's not the quotation new year that we were all kind of hoping for and promised, but how is it going so far for you? Are you coping okay?
I am. I think, like you say, it's not the new year that we were all hoping for, but it definitely feels different anyway, because there's much more hope. And I think I always prefer spring semester anyway, because I somehow always like my modules better in spring as well. But the weather getting better, days getting longer, that's all good things for your mental health. So yeah, I've had a good start to 2021.
Perfect. I'm glad to hear it because, like everyone else, was kind of hoping to go into 2021. You know, things were going to be different. Things might start getting back to normal sooner rather than later. And it seems like things just keep getting worse. But obviously, try not to fall into that kind of negative mindset and just try and keep myself ticking along day by day, which is all you can really do at this point. But yeah, moving on to why we have you on today, it's to discuss the fundraiser / mental health conference that we're holding tonight when this goes live. This will go out on Monday. So it's very exciting. Would you like to just explain the event that's taking place tonight?
Yeah, of course. So tonight we're doing our mental health conference #2 after the success of the last one. It's basically an opening ceremony kind of for our Move for Mental Health fundraiser that we're doing as a society. So it's going to run from the 1st of February until the end of March. And we're basically fundraising as a society for SAMH, Scotland Association for Mental Health. Just because we thought, especially this year, and with everything that's going on for students, mental health is such a priority, and it's something that can be really kind of affected at the moment. So we were 100% sure that we wanted to fundraise for SAMH. So we've come up with the idea of a running and walking fundraiser, because they are both things that are so good for your mental health. So that's the idea of the fundraiser, and basically the conference is going to be based around the stigma around men's mental health, because we did notice from the last session that we had a lot of female speakers, but we only had one male speaker. So I thought for this one, it would be nice to kind of have a focus on that. And we have the wonderful Jedd who's going to join us.
I'm looking forward to it, to be honest, Claire. I'm looking forward to speaking because I feel like it was really good to be involved in the last mental wellbeing event, like we said, which was in November. And it was such a good open platform, which is one of the main positives that we focused on in the show in November. And I'm really looking forward to the similar format. And I know that we have a wide variety of speakers speaking this time, because last time it was very much student focused. Everyone who spoke was a current LLB student.
Yeah.
I know this time we have a wide variety of speakers who are coming to talk to us. So would you like to just kind of introduce who's going to be speaking at the event?
Of course. So we have somebody from SAMH themselves who's going to come along and tell us a little bit about what SAMH does and kind of where our fundraising is going to go. So I think that'll be really valuable. We have 2 third-year LLB students, Darren Moultrie and Aidan Grimshaw. We obviously have you, Jedd, and we also have a really exciting guest, which is Guido Noto-Ladiega, our lecturer from Stirling, who we've all, I think most of us will have taken a class or we will have met him. He does intellectual property and media law, which is what I have I've done with him. But yeah, he's a great lecturer, and I think it'll be a really nice addition to the conference to get a kind of different perspective. And it'll definitely kind of fuse the gap between student and lecturer as well. So I think it should be really good.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to hearing from Guido. And honestly, Claire, massive props to you for how you managed to pronounce his name. Obviously, I knew Guido was speaking, but I thought I'd put the pressure on you to pronounce his name properly because I was not taking that task on.
No.
I've never met Guido. I've never spoke to him, but I do follow him on LinkedIn, and
Hmm.
he's even been very supportive of the podcast, commenting on our YouTube videos before. So I do have a lot of respect for him, and like I say, I follow a lot of his work on LinkedIn. I know he does a lot of work with the university, writing different
Hmm.
reports on different committees and stuff. So he's a very respectable guy, and I'm really looking forward to hearing how lockdown and home learning has affected the lecturers as well. Because like I said, we
Hmm.
had the student side of things in November, and it'll be really interesting to hear from a lecturer on the other side of the Zoom call, if you like, to hear how
Hmm.
it's affected them. It's going to be a really good event, and like we say, it's taking place tonight. If you're listening on Monday, obviously, if you're listening later in the week or at a later date, then the event is already gone. So tough
Yeah.
luck, you've missed out. But if you are listening on Monday, do get yourself along tonight. The usual plugs and links will be on our social pages where you can go and get tickets, get the links, and get yourself across to the conference because it's going to be very important. But like you say, Claire, we do have a rather large distance that we need to run or walk as a society across everyone. There's going to be a lot of people needing to chip in for us to get to 1,923 miles. My
Yeah.
personal goal is going to be 30 kilometers per week, which is
Nice.
just over 18 miles. I do have a bit of a bad calf, which I've had to take like breaks from running from before. So
Okay.
hopefully it holds up okay. But if I manage to do 18 miles a week, that'll be a 160-mile contribution, which
Amazing.
an interesting stat for you, Claire, is that is
Oh.
20 miles more than the distance between Stirling and Newcastle, which is 140 miles.
Oh, that is really interesting. I like that.
Yeah, so I'm hoping I'm setting my goals high to try
Yeah,
and keep myself accountable because obviously we have prizes available for
we
whoever tops the
do.
leaderboard, and it's going to be a nice competitive edge to it, all in the name of charity, which is very good, very very good. So, what about you, Claire? What's your personal goal? Have you set any personal goals for how much you want to walk or run on a weekly basis, or just over the 2 months in general?
Well, I have been thinking about it, and I think my personal goal is to try and walk or run 3 miles a day because
Hmm.
I feel like this is achievable because typically I think I walk 3 miles, it's maybe like around about an hour walking equals 3 miles. So to me, to be able to do that every day would be great. And then obviously, if you're running, it takes me about like maybe half the time ish. That's if it's a good day for me running. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think I want to try and do that, and then obviously on the weekends, maybe go a little bit longer to kind of make up if I have a day during the week that I just don't want to go out, or if it's horrible weather, that kind of thing. Because let's be honest, Scotland isn't the kindest in January, February, or March, so
No.
that just adds to the challenge. I think that is one of the good things about this fundraiser because it's really going to force everyone to get out. And I think sometimes you need that kind of push with a little bit of competitiveness or a kind of a purpose to go out because in the summer it's really easy when it's nice weather and you can go out and sit outside with your friends and you don't even think about it half the time, whereas in the winter months it's so easy to get cooped up and just stay inside, but the benefits of getting outside are huge. So I think that's a good aspect to the fundraiser.
Yeah, and when you mentioned the bad weather, we've recently had some snow.
Mhm.
Obviously, it'll vary in how bad it was across the country, depending on where everyone is. But I mean, here in Stirling, it wasn't too bad. But whenever we do tend to get snow, it does tend to be in the kind of February, March time. So I'm really looking forward
Yeah.
to seeing how the weather's really going to impact this because obviously we've set the goal. Everyone needs to get out there and get it done. There's really no space for excuses. So
Mhm.
hopefully the Scottish weather can be kind to us. I wouldn't put much money on it because, like you say, it's very inconsistent. It's normally very poor weather, especially in those winter months, like you say. But fingers crossed we can get some decent weather. But I don't know. I mean, I like running in the rain. I quite like it. Do you like running in
Me
the rain?
too. Yes, I have one of my favorite runs that I've ever completed was in the pouring rain, because it was just like, obviously you get adrenaline from running anyway, and I think it was like when I was running it was really muddy, so there was just like mud going everywhere, and I was just like, it's actually so fun. But what I was gonna say is another thing I'm planning. So obviously we're gonna have prizes for who completes the most miles, but I've got a little idea up my sleeve of creating a prize for the people that kind of share the best pictures of them running
Oh,
or walking. So,
I
I
like
think
that.
the snow could help with that. Or if it's horrible weather, you can get some really funny pictures. So there's always an upside.
Yeah, and if anyone does happen to take their dog on a walk, you could maybe use your
Oh my
dog
gosh.
in the
Yes,
snow to get a nice photo. That might end up landing you a little prize. You never know. That would be very good.
definitely. Definitely.
Unfortunately, I don't have a dog here, so I just need to run on my own most of the time. But I'll try and get creative, Claire. Now that you've put a prize on that,
Yeah.
then I'm gonna need to get creative and get thinking, because everyone loves to win a prize, and I
Oh, who
feel like
doesn't?
we're all law students, and we do have that kind of competitive edge, and we do want to win. So I think it's all in the name of charity, which just makes it for a very good cause. And I feel like the conference and who we're fundraising for is all to do with mental health, and obviously, especially during these lockdown times and during the COVID times, it's really important to get outside. So,
Mhm.
we're going out, we're walking a lot, we're running a lot. It's helping our mental health, and we're raising money for a very important cause and a very important charity, and ultimately raising awareness for a very important subject. So, massive props to you for coming up with it, for organising it. Now, when it comes to fundraising, is there a society page people can donate to, or is everyone to donate on their own? How is the whole fundraising, gathering cash aspect being handled?
So we have a Just Giving page, specially designed for the Stirling Law Society for this fundraiser. So it's all just going to be on that one page. So we're basically going to try as a society to kind of spread that link as much as we can, try and get the Stirling Union to spread it, just so that there's one place that everyone can donate, so that it's not confusing by having individual people doing it. And I think it's important as well that as much as there is that competitive side to it, we are all doing it together, and it's for a collective cause, collective mile group. It doesn't matter if you only can contribute 5 miles, that's still 5 miles. So just making sure that we're kind of supporting each other the whole way through. So yeah, just one fundraising page.
Yeah, I think that's probably the best way, because, like you say, it doesn't get confused, and it lets us have all the fundraise money in one place, so we can always
Mhm.
see exactly where we're at as a society in general. So I'm really looking forward to it. So in terms of links and how it's going to work, all the information will be in the description of this podcast, whether you're listening on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, whatever it may be. All the information, all the links that you need will be in the description. And if you do want to take part, the link to our Strava group / leaderboard will be there as well. So just make sure you have a Strava account. It's free to use, free to install, all that stuff. And you'll get added to our leaderboard, and all your miles will be put there for everyone to see. So make sure you're getting out and about, get those miles up, and ultimately raise some money for a very important charity. So yes, that's pretty much all we have to speak about. Like I say, Claire, I'm looking forward to the event tonight. I'm looking forward to speaking, and I'm really looking forward to this fundraiser. I'm sure my legs will not thank me by the end of March. Come April, it's going to be pretty brutal. But I mean, maybe people will have some lockdown weight to lose. I know I certainly do around the waistline. I need to lose a few pounds. So it's all contributing in a positive way. But yeah, thanks very much for coming on, Claire, and I will see you tonight.
Amazing. See you tonight.
Thank you very much for listening to another episode of our podcast. If you like what you hear, please follow us on your podcast platform of choice to ensure that you never miss an upload. To keep up to date with us, you can follow our Instagram page, which is Star Law Society. Additionally, our Twitter is @_Star Law Society. In the meantime, it's goodbye from me, and I'll speak to you again very soon.